there's a very close correspondence to Chinese painting. But there also is a certain robustness to Korean painting. So it's, in a way, it's more direct, more immediate, more large scale. In Chinese painting, sometimes there's more of a withdrawal into an intellectual semblance, where in Korean painting you see, even with the same motifs, you can often see a more direct apprehension of the visual world. So it's not as much translated through the media of literature and generations of past culture as a greater capturing of immediate experience. We just called it Three Kingdoms in Sheila. So we just gave it the chronological name. We had a publication about it in Orientations magazine, and actually our visiting curator at that time from Korea was Oh Yong-chan, and he wrote an article on some of the objects in our collection. He did not write about that exhibition, but he actually was the curator of that exhibition. Well, the Korean government, through the Korea Foundation, has been a very big supporter of our ability to display and study Korean art in the UK. And most recently, about 10 years ago, they helped us actually by giving us the money to establish the gallery. But then recently, the Korea Foundation Gallery has helped us by giving a subsidy that allows a curator from the National Museum here to come spend a year in residence at the British Museum. And this program is enormously important to us. So we've had our second curator now, and we're very much hoping that we'll be able to have another year. And so for that, not only do I want to thank the Korean government, but I want to thank the National Museum of Korea and the Korea Foundation. But I think if we could continue exchange programs, right now the government grants to museums in the United Kingdom are much reduced from what they used to be. So it's very nice if Asian nations that are on the rise can also help us through exchange. And what we also hope is that the resident scholars are getting something that they can bring back to Korea, because they're seeing our museum is actually the oldest private museum in the world, 250 years. So we're hoping that if they see how we work, they're also learning something that they can bring back here.
So is there any program for the Japanese creator or Chinese creator, or is there any program?
It's not an official exchange curator, it's actually having a curator from Korea come over and spend a year in residence in the UK. We actually don't have a curator from the British Museum to send over here for a year, because number one, it's sad, but none of our curators speak Korean. So they really couldn't come over and work in your museum system. Whereas we're very lucky because so many Koreans speak excellent English. The Korean curator can come over. So we don't call it a direct exchange. It's a visiting curatorial program. But we actually have been invited to send scholars over to Korea for 2- and 3-month residencies where they can do some research and give some lectures. And we're going to do that. Yeah, we're going to do that. And that's through the National Museum has made that invitation to our scholars. So we'll do that. Last year, so in 2010, we did another small-scale special exhibition where we borrowed objects from the National Museum of Korea,
So what's
and
up
we
with that?
installed them within our Korea Foundation gallery. And these were objects drawn from the Shilla dynasty, and quite a range. And so we have certain artifacts that we borrowed from tombs that include gold jewelry and some of the stone necklaces. And then we also borrowed iron armor for a person, for a horse. One of the things that is quite distinctive about Korea is iron is used so much more widely here than in the neighboring countries. And so we also borrowed an iron Buddha. And I think that's something that was a very nice way to make a subtle distinction between Korea and the other Asian galleries that we have nearby, the Korea and the Japanese, because they don't use iron in a beautiful, creative way, but Korea does. So we're doing a series of small changing exhibitions within our Korea Foundation gallery.